Hey guys, I'm back. I hope you like the Super Mario Sunshine soundtrack. I am back with another continuation of me trying to make this game for my students. I kind of stopped for a while because I was having trouble getting the animation to transfer to the full model. But today I am back because I finally got it to work. So this is what I was working on before. This I'm gonna throw out. I'm not gonna throw it out. I'm just not gonna do this quite anymore. I'm gonna work on another idea that I have, and I sort of already have like a little game plan here. So yeah, so let me work on that today. And I actually set aside 3 hours, but I kind of spent an hour of that just setting this up, which is fine because it's been on my mind the last couple of days. Like, it's gonna be annoying to like transfer all these files because I was working on my laptop, and I started a different project on my laptop, and now it's this project. All right, so enough talking. Let me get into it. So this is what we had last time ish. There's some stuff down here that's extra at the bottom. I don't know if you can see my mouse here, but maybe I could just highlight. Oh, there you go. So down here I have some stuff that's a little bit extra. Let me just turn this window off, and I'll show you what I have now. Bam. So this is the actual full character, and I finally got it to work. It was a pain, but I finally got it to work with the animation. But I did learn how to do it now, so that if I want to add any extra animations, it shouldn't take me months since the last video. So alright, so hopefully we can spend at least 2 hours. You guys already see the timestamp, but hopefully we can spend at least 2 hours and a half working on this, and hopefully have something by the end of this. So let me play this so you can see how it's running right now. And basically this square that I'm on is basically just the terrain. So I'm going to be able to just run around. Here's the character, by the way. His name is Hakonia, and he's like a little samurai cat. He represents the city that I'm in. He's like the mascot. He's basically, the design is a lot like Hello Kitty. Basically, it's like a chibi, or otherwise known as a super deformed character, a chibi. Cute little character with a big head. So he's got a little cat body, and actually I should be able to zoom in on this a little bit more so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. The game's running a little bit slowly. Might be due to the recording. It might just be due to the speed that I have it set on, but this is what he looks like. The lighting is a little weird. I'm gonna try to work on the lighting. I showed this to my Japanese teacher, and he said he likes the shadow, so I kind of want to get rid of the shadow because I feel like that's extra calculation on the part of the game. But yeah, this is what the character looks like, and gravity doesn't apply right now, so you can just see him walking towards the camera without a problem. And as simple as this animation looks, it took me forever to get this working, so I'm like super proud of it. And it's not even my animation. I got it from Mixamo, which is an animation website. So yeah, I got it working now. So what I'm trying to do is actually transfer this to the project that I already started. And honestly, if it doesn't work, well, the thing with this project that I have right now is that I have a whole bunch of other files in here. So you can actually see it says like Lapsmont. I was kind of playing with the War of the Vision models. So I want to transfer it into this other file so that it's actually a nice clean game without any other copyrighted material in it. And what's good is that this character is not actually, I mean, I think it is like copyrighted, but it's like open to use to promote, as long as you're promoting anything for the city. And I feel like if I'm making a game for the Japanese kids to learn English, I feel like that's a good promotion for the city. So I feel like I'm nice and in the legal realm here. So all right, so there's one other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to copy the prefab. Hopefully this copies correctly. I want to copy the prefab into this project, so there that goes. I don't think I need the script or anything. So, because I think I'm using the same script here. So let me just try to create a new scene here. A scene is basically a new level or a new area. So I'm just gonna call it Eco Farm, because I'm trying to make like a little farm game here. So, all right, let me hold this up. I don't know if you're gonna be able to read it, so I'm gonna hold it up, but I'm gonna maybe change the camera to here. Okay, so ignore my dirty laundry over here. Not even dirty, but so yeah, these are gonna be the keywords that I'm gonna try to, like right here. These are gonna be the keywords that I want them to learn. You know, just the normal food names, and then it's gonna be forest, island, mountain, blah blah blah. Sorry, this is like inverted. Ignore my little drawing here. This is supposed to be Zelda and Gerudo woman. Ignore that. So these are the keywords that I want them to learn. These are the ones from the chapter, from the previous chapter actually. It's supposed to be like, you know, lions live in the savannah, pandas live in the mountain. And then these are going to be the words that I want them to learn in terms of food. They probably already know these words, but I think if I can make the game for them, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to, you know, it's going to motivate them to learn it a little bit more. So the idea of the game is, what we did in class is that we had a miso soup creating lesson. So that's going to be this right here. It's going to be just a giant pot with a fire. And the goal of the game is that you're going to read this menu, and the menu is going to tell you like a soup. I don't know if the soup is going to have a name. So like, let's just call it, I don't know, delicious soup, right? And this is going to tell you the ingredients of the soup. And what you're going to do is you're going to run around the level here, and you're just going to go to the area where you think the food will grow. So if you're looking for tomato, you probably want to go to this little farm area here. If you're looking for like a mushroom, it's going to be like on the rock area. And then there's going to be a bush area. I'm probably going to add more than this, but you know, the river's where the fish are going to be. I'm going to try to add more than that so that there's different, because like, let's say the farm area, right? Farm, you're probably going to be able to spawn corn, tomato, like anything there. So I want to add more different areas so that you're not just going to the same exact area to spawn everything, right? So, but the idea is the menu is going to tell you what ingredients you're going to use, and it's going to be like 4 or 5 ingredients per soup. You're just going to run over to the area, get the ingredient, and then run back to the pot and throw it into the pot. And then once you have all the ingredients, it's probably going to do like a little animation and all this, whatever, something like that. And it's going to say, you know, you win or whatever. This is the soup. Oh, it's going to show the soup. It's going to be delicious, whatever. Right now we have nothing. So let's kind of start from there. Let's see if I could actually import this prefab, if it actually worked. I think it was this one. So let me move this to the prefab folder. Oh no, that's not the one. Okay, so let's go back to the model folder. I think it was this one. Yeah, prefab. Okay. I want to see if this prefab works right off the bat. So I think I mentioned it in the last time, but if you don't remember, or if you didn't watch the last one, a prefab is basically just a pre-built, looks like it's not working. Okay. Basically just a pre-built, get rid of this. It's a pre-built thing, like a model, right? So it's an object. So what the object is, it's the model, the 3D model of the character. It's probably going to have a script built in to tell it what to do. It's going to have like physics attached to it, like a collider, like hit detection, collision detection, a whole bunch of stuff combined. So since that didn't really seem to transfer over, What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rebuild it based on what we have here. So if I go to this project and I click on here on the side, right, we have all these properties here on the right. So it has a script, it has a collider, it has a rigid body. That stuff is going to be easy to add, so that's not going to be a problem. Animator, so the animator tells it, if you're standing still, don't animate, right? So just stand. And if you're moving, then you animate. That's what the animator controller does. All right, so I'm just gonna, this is not that complicated. I already have all this stuff here. Oh, the rigid body and the box collider are built in. The animator, I think I transferred it over, and then the script I should already have from the last time I made a video. So let's kind of just rebuild everything again. And I think it's this one. So this is an FBX. So I'm going to throw this guy in here. And where's the camera? Oh, wow, that scared the crap out of me. I'm going to put him right in front of the camera so that he shows up on the right here. There we go. So let me actually, oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong window. So let me actually minimize this here on the right and kind of make this area a little bit bigger. Right, so on the left here, I could just adjust everything that I'm doing. And on the right, this is going to be the game view. So before we actually start the game and test it, I don't think it's going to actually work quite yet. What I want to do is I want to go here and add a couple of different components. So I'm going to add a rigid body. I'm going to add a collider. But right now, it's just going to be a box collider. But I think what we actually want to do is a capsule collider, because a capsule collider helps with terrain. Like if there's something hilly, it'll automatically kind of like climb the hill. But that's kind of gonna kind of depend on gravity, so we'll have to see how that works. All right, so we have a box collider, we have a rigid body, and then let's add an animator, animator controller. So if we click on the controller, we should already have an animator. And I don't know what an avatar is. We'll leave that alone. And then the last thing I want to add is script. But I already have this script, so hopefully this should work on its own. And then the only thing I'm going to add to the rigid body is I'm going to freeze the Y position. And I think I'm going to freeze... No, I'm not going to freeze the Y position. I'm going to not use gravity. Let me slide that down so you guys can see. Okay, I guess I can't slide it down. It's right here, basically. You can see the freeze. I'm gonna freeze rotation on X and Z, because I only want him to spin around. I don't want him to like rotate like this, or like this, or like this. I just want him to rotate like this. Basically like this. Not like this, not like this. So I'm gonna freeze X and Y, and I'm gonna not use gravity. So I think that should be enough to get this to work. And I kind of want this thing down here a little bit better for me. All right, let's run that and see if that works. So hopefully that should animate. It's compiling here. Okay, so he's actually able to move. And I actually forgot that I made modifications to that script before. So I might have to make another script for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring the script from the other project, before I do that, I'm gonna actually just change the name of the script. So that, well, no, I'm gonna move it in first and then change it. Then I might have to like recompile this or something. Okay. Sorry, my windows are a little bit all over the place right now. I'm gonna bring the script in. There, you guys should be able to see that now. But I'm gonna actually modify it outside of... First of all, I'm just gonna rename it. I'm gonna call it Hiko script after the character Hikonian. And let's go, I'm gonna actually go into the... and modify it within Notepad. Let's call it Hiko script. Because I feel like if I modify it from outside using the actual programming Microsoft Visual Studio, then it's actually going to do some weird things. So I'm gonna, before I bring it into that, I'm just gonna modify it here and then sort of like reload the assets so that it's how do I say this? So it's coming in just as a text file, and then I'm gonna open it up as a script file and then compile it and then see if it works and how it runs. Right, so let me save that. It's actually loading right now. Okay. And I'm gonna hit refresh, actually re-import. There we go. And I'm gonna move this to the script folder. Alright, so now I have two scripts here. Well, I have a couple of different scripts. And I'm just gonna open up this script. And see if I could get this to show here. Alright, it's actually still loading, so let me give it a second there. Let me see if I could get this window back in the right place. Project. Yeah, I want this to be its own thing though. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. So we have the assets here, and then we have the program structure, the directory structure here, so that I could easily just do this there. So actually, let me not make the prefab yet. And then also I have more space up top so that I can view the actual game setting. Okay, so I'm still waiting for this to load up here. Microsoft Visual Studio here. Hopefully this music isn't too loud. It's like really loud in my ear right now. Alright, yeah, so let me run this again. I just want to see. And then we can maximize. How do I maximize? Maximize. So it's, you know, we can move left and right. He's supposed to just animate, I guess. but I have it a little different. So in the other version of the game, he was always running, so I set that as the default animation. But for this one, I have him able to be idle or running. So right now it's taking the idle stance as the running stance. So let's just save this. And then, while this other thing is loading, let me just go back to here and just kind of double check that. So I think we had this like randomly spawning. So yeah, he's kind of running. and he's like moving side to side. So for this version of the game, that's all we would have needed. But for the other version, it's not going to be the same. What we can do is, in the meantime, we can kind of just do the same thing here. Bring this guy in to here. He's a little not in the right position at all. There we go. Oops. God, I love Brave Fencer Musashi. That song is awesome. Okay, so he's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit bigger than the previous version. Okay, so scale is 0.2. That 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Okay, so they're the same size now. Keeping in mind that the animator is going to be different. But what I can do is I can actually just use the other animator. I think that should work. So let's just add the same stuff again. Collider. Rigid body. And animator. But this time I could just use the other animator. And I could just have them side by side, I guess. So that's something I'm kind of a little bit... Oh, I forgot to turn off gravity. Something I'm kind of a little bit worried about is that you can't actually... Like, you could only make out his head, his helmet there. So I'm kind of just a little bit afraid that it won't feel like you're really using the character in the same way. Alright, so they're kind of just moving in unison. So I think he should be running if I'm using the same animator. So there's something that I'm not necessarily getting right. But in terms of the actual, how the game, the old version of the game would work, it's actually working. So also I think I might actually should be using this model instead. So I could give this a shot too. And then, you know, change the size again. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. And then give them the same animator, box collider. It's kind of annoying, but you only have to do this once per character. It is kind of annoying, and that's why the whole prefab thing was invented. So again, just adding the script, the animator, the collider, and the rigid body. Let me see if that's enough to kind of get this one to work. And I forgot to turn off gravity again. I mean, gravity is fine to have on. It's just like the way this is kind of set up right now is not really the best. Alright, so it looks like maybe the middle model here is the one that's working. That should work. It's just like not really set up completely properly. Alright, so let's... Now that I have this open again, let's go back to the script, Microsoft Visual Studio here. And let's just take a look at what we're doing here. So we have this script, and then we should have the other script. So I should be able to open that from Unity. Bam, okay, here it is. And I do remember making some changes last time. So let's just kind of try to line this up here. And yeah, there's definitely some changes that were made. Okay, so let me just try compiling this. And let's see if we get any errors, because I did change the name of the script. It says build started. Looks like it's building. Just waiting to see if any errors come up. Usually doesn't take this long to build. Alright, build succeeded. 1 succeeded, 0 failed, 0 up to date. Okay. So it's asking me what Unity instance to use. Let's go back to Unity and see if this works. This one? Okay, yeah. Alright, let's go back to Unity. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our other scene. So let's save this. Even though it's a little bit... I got these 3 guys on here. Let's just save it. Let's go back to the Hiko Farm scene. Let's select Hiko Farm or Hiko running close Hiko. And let's change the script here. Let's get rid of this one. Oh, let's not edit the script. Let's remove component and then add Hiko script. Okay. And let's run it and see what happens, if any difference comes up. No. Okay, so he is actually able to rotate and everything, which is good. He does seem to be moving a little bit slowly, but I think that's probably more so because of his scale. He's too big and the camera's too far away, so it looks like he's not really moving that much. But what I could also do is make him even smaller, or just make the level much bigger so that it looks like he's moving at a better rate. Alright, so let's run this again. He should be able to move a little bit faster-ish. But it looks like he's still not animating. It looks like if we move him closer, it looks like his leg is up, so he is entering that animation. It's just not moving. So one thing we can check is here. We want to make sure that the animation is actually looping. Loop time, okay. So that's one thing. Because it could be that the animation plays once and then it stops instantly. It could be that the animation is transitioning. I think we want this one too. Could be that the animation is transitioning, but then once it transitions, it doesn't start playing because it looped one time already. So let's see if this makes any difference. Alright, so we want to apply. Okay, so the script is still working. The animation is still not playing. Wait a second here. Let me just move him up a little more and then closer to the camera. Closer, 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 and then up, up, up. Center him a little bit more. So that way we can see him a little bit better. Yeah, so he's moving around now. He's still moving a little bit more slowly than I would want him to move. But we're kind of getting there. Alright, so what we're going to do is go to the animator. Oh, actually the animator kind of shows us what's happening here. The default... okay. Oh, you know what? Transitions. I don't have any transitions. Okay, so we're almost getting there. So on the right here, he should be moving, and as he moves, it should transition to the other. You see this like little progress bar here? It should transition to the orange box right here, but it's not doing that. And the reason for that is because we don't have any. Oh, we do have a parameter here, but it's actually, I guess it's not really. There's something that's just not linked properly. So let's kind of see if we have this going correctly. equals 0 and equals 2. So it should be transitioning. It should actually start at the top one. Okay. So if we go here, on the bottom here, as we move him, it should be changing between between 0 and 2, and it looks like it is. So that's down here. It looks like it's changing between 0 and 2. Apparently it's on 3 now. 0, 2, 0, 3. I think if I press one of these other buttons, maybe I could get it to turn into 4. No, it's not. Alright, so looks like the transitioning is not working for some reason. Alright, let's figure out why that is. So it is also working up here on the left, the top left. Can you guys see that? Yeah. It's up here on the top left. It is changing as well. So something about this here, this little arrow section here, is just not working. So let's stop this and let's go back to the code. The code, which is over here. Okay, so in terms of the code, right? One thing I messed up the other day, is the word moving has to be the exact same capitalization. I had a capital M, and for some reason Unity decides to capitalize this variable down here on the bottom right here on the bottom right. It decides to capitalize that, and I made the mistake of naming this with the capital M the other day, and it just didn't work for some reason. So yeah, that was really annoying. So what it seems to be happening is that it's transitioning out of this one instantly, which it should not. So I kind of have a feeling that there's something wrong with this one, with this orange state right here. Make this a little bit bigger. So the name of this thing is kind of ridiculous. Let me see if I could change this. I really just want this to say idle. Let me stop this. I just want this to say idle. I hope I can change this without like breaking things. And I want this to say running. Okay, motion. I don't know what motion this is. Okay. So I have a bunch of different, I guess these are animations. So I might have an issue here with the way I have the animations set up. Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay. So again, these animations are named very weirdly. I mean, not weirdly, it says mixamo.com, but it would be nice if they actually labeled the stuff properly. So let me see if this works, if just setting the motion works. Okay, so it looks like it's actually staying within the idle animation, so that's good, but it's not animating properly. Okay, and it looks like it did move, so the transition part is working. So that's very good. We just have to figure out which one of these it's supposed to be. Okay, so let's go back to here. Here. One thing I want to make sure is that this doesn't have exit time. So the thing with exit time is that so like if you're running, right, the running animation is like a full cycle, like bam, from here it's gonna go here back to here, here back to here. So what I wanted to do is to be able to transition to a stop. If he's like halfway through the animation, I just want him to go straight to stop. Otherwise, what's gonna happen is if I stop moving, he's gonna be like running in place, and then halfway through the animation I stop, but it's gonna continue the animation all the way to the end, even though he's like physically stopped. So I want that to stop. All right, let me stop explaining that, because I think once you see it, it'll make sense. So let me just keep trying different ones here until something works. All right, and then just try running that again. Okay, so it's still not working. And let me just try one more. So this one, and then this one. And then let's see if that works. Okay, so one part of it works. There we go. But it looks like the idle animation. Oh, but that looks actually pretty wonderful. Oh, I'm glad that's actually working. Oh man. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. It's only been 40 minutes, guys. 40 minutes. But we're getting somewhere. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually delete this idle animation, which sucks because it deletes the transitions. And I'm gonna try to drag this idle model back into here. Alright, and then let's see if this works. So let's remake the transitions. And then on the right here, we're gonna say moving is greater than 0, right? And moving, no, not behavior. Wait, what? Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Moving equals 0. Equals 0. Okay, so let's rename this one, and that's going to be idle. Actually, let's not rename it just yet, because that could be what's causing the issue. But the running one didn't seem to have a problem being renamed. All right, so looks like the idle animation is not working. And the transition is not working either. Greater than 0. How about not equal to 0? Something is weird. Oh, it has exit time. See, I think that might be what's messing me up. That could be part of what's messing me up, because that looked like it was a long animation. No. Has this? Oh, this is the exit time that I wanted to turn off, actually. See, there you go. The exit time is already messing us up. So I'll give you maybe I can give you an example of how the exit time works now with an actual visual. All right, so you can see he's running, he stops, but then he's running in place for like a second extra. We don't want that to happen. So we turn off the exit time. And then he runs, and then he stops. He still kind of finishes off the animation, but he stops. And that's how we want it to work. All right, so I think this is the wrong idle animation here. Oh, hold on. Loop time. Does have loop time. All right, let's get out of this then. There's got to be something I'm doing wrong. Happy idle. Let's try this one and see what happens. Let's just make it the default. Whoops. Make it the default. And see what he does. No. Okay, so there's just something wrong. I used the wrong animation or something. So let's see if I could grab the other one from the other project. Yeah, for the time being, I'm just gonna leave this other project open in the background. This is the one that I'm talking about. I forgot exactly which idle animation I used. Oh, maybe it's idle blend. That might be the one. Because I had to re-change it in Blender, so I just called it idle blend. I think that's definitely the one. Alright, and then we're just gonna make it default. And then just see if that changes anything. Oh, okay, that's not perfect, but he's kind of standing off to the side, like leaning a little bit. Close enough. Alright, so we're gonna rename this to idle. so it's a little bit easier to tell what it is. And actually we do want that to be the default, so that's fine. And then make transition, go to click on the arrow, turn off exit time. We want to say moving is not equal to 0. And then for the other side arrow here, turn off exit time, moving equals 0. Okay. And there we go. That's what I want. So normally when you make a model, it's in the T-pose. So you have to kind of create an idle animation, and that's just going to be him with his arms down. Maybe he's going to be like looking around, tapping his foot, something like that. If you remember the old Sonic games where he would tap his foot, that's kind of what the idle animation really is. But for our purposes, this is going to be a simple game. We just want running and standing still. Oh, he's looking so good. Oh man, so happy about that. All right, so this is basically, I'm back to where I was yesterday in this other project. So I think I can minimize this project and just, oh, sorry, I wasn't showing the right screen. Okay, so again, start the thing off again. He's running around, bam, and then he's just standing, running around, standing. Normally it's T-pose, but this is a specific idle animation, which is basically like not even moving. And then he can just transition to the running animation. Standing, running, standing. Okay, I'm like looking at the little imperfections of my model here. And I know I had like a little, in the middle there, I had like a little, like 2 planes joining. It's kind of like this a little bit, so it's just kind of messing up a little bit. But I mean, these kids are not going to notice. Actually, I think that's not even true. That's probably just the back of his head just going through the helmet. But these kids, I mean, maybe they'll notice, but who really cares? The rest of the model looks actually pretty good. So yeah. Oh, I'm so happy this is working. All right, so what I did yesterday, or like this was like maybe Wednesday, was that I added a, so what I'm gonna do here is actually get rid of idle 2, because now I know they're not working, and then get rid of this one because it's not the one I used. And now that I have him up and running, what I'm gonna do is go here to the left side, and I'm gonna actually, hold on a second. I'm gonna actually drag this to here. Oops, I didn't grab it correctly. Drag this to here. Original prefab. So now this version of Hikonian with the idle animation, the running animation, the script, the collider, the rigid body, etc. Now I could just drag them into a scene. Oh, actually have to be in scene mode. I can drag him into a scene, and now he's just gonna be ready to go whenever, you know, it's the same one at the bottom there. It's the same one. I could just drag him. So if I make like a new level, I could just drag him into the level and he's good to go already, if that makes sense. So what I'm planning to do is at first I'm just gonna make the one level so that the kids can sort of play around on that. That's just like the demo level, but I kind of do want it to be like different. Like it's gonna be like the little farm level. And actually, let me start bringing that in so that we can have that like basic skeleton model kind of going. Let me bring that in, and then we can work on it from there. But actually, before I do that, what I did last time was I added we go to game object, we can go to 3D object and then add a terrain. The other day I added a terrain, but like for whatever reason it was like perfectly aligned. Oh, sorry. It was like perfectly aligned like this. and I couldn't see it, so I was like, oh, terrain is not working. But now I realize that I just have to angle this thing so that I could actually see it. Alright, and what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna... So it's already position 0, so we know that this right here, this little corner here is position 0, 0, 0. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna move Iconian and the camera to be right here, like starting on 0, so that just so that we have like a good frame of reference here. Okay, actually it's not lining up perfectly there. It's close enough. Alright, so we're gonna start them off at 0, 0, 0. And what we're actually gonna do is take this terrain, this like huge terrain, oh my god, it's so big, and just kind of move it so that the middle is more towards 0, 0, 0. So he's kind of just more in the middle. And then once we have like actual terrain features, then this is gonna look way better. Again, he's a little bit high up, so let me kind of just... Oh my god, this is so like optical illusion-y. Let me double check that this is still recording correctly. Okay. Okay, yeah. We're up to 46 minutes. So yeah, this is so like optical illusion-y looking. Yeah, I kind of want to keep the sun here, the lighting source here sort of a little bit behind him. Oh, why is it like tilted like that? It's annoying. Behind him, so that the camera is sort of facing him from this side, right? And then the lighting is hitting him, so that you as the player can view him in full lighting. And not have like crazy shadows covering his face. I do want to change the lighting to be more like a cel-shaded look, but we're gonna do that a little bit later. Because it's a little... It's not hard, but it's like multiple steps involved, and we have to change his color. We're gonna have to mess with his colors one at a time, so... Alright, so I just want him to be sort of there. Alright, so right now, as of right now, the thing too is that the camera is just in place by itself. So I actually already have a script to move the camera with the player, the main character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an empty object, and I'm going to call it pivot. And this is just kind of a trick that I use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera under pivot. So it's sort of like in a folder under pivot, so that if I move pivot, the camera moves with it. Oh, I'm actually moving the camera there, sorry. So pivot right here, the camera's going to move with pivot. Bam. And then what I'm going to do is I have to tag Iconian as player. And then I have a script already set up. Well, I have to copy it from the other project. I have a script that I can use here. Give it a second to copy. Okay, and actually let me move it to the script folder. Oh wow, this song is awesome. Doo-doo-doo. Gerudo Valley song. Orchestral. I might be copyright flagged for this one. So, yeah. Oh well. I think it'll still allow the video to be posted. Okay, so now I have the pivot script, so let me see if this works. Yeah, okay, so now as I move him, the camera moves with him. It's looking a little janky, I'm not gonna lie. What's up with this, like, light? It's like blinding light, and I can't really see in front of me. But that's fine. Well, that's fine. We'll just keep that like that for right now. We're gonna move the camera up, maybe a little bit back, a little bit. Like here. And we're gonna angle it down on the x-axis. Alright, so then actually, no, let me unangle it and then move it up a bit more, and then now angle it. Cool. So yeah, I kind of, we have like the Zelda music playing here. I kind of would like this game to kind of look a little bit like a Zelda game. That'll be great. Okay. I think we might need to change his movement speed or his size or something, because we want this to look like he's covering more ground. He's just moving way too slowly. I mean, there's no problem with moving slowly. It's just when you're playing a game, you want to feel like you're moving quickly. So I think what I can do is maybe make him smaller. And also this pivot doesn't seem like it's aligning correctly with him. Yeah, so I want to make his X and Z position 0. So that should be... Oh, the pivot's not on 0 for whatever reason. Okay, that's why. So let me save. Make sure I save. Always make sure I save. And yeah, okay, so that's better, I think. And then let's center it a little bit more. There we go. So actually, if I turn on maximize on play, it should look a little bit better in terms of centering. Oh my god, he's so slow. Wait, why is that happening? Okay. He's just looking like he's really slow. That's fine. What we can do is actually just make this a bit smaller. Maybe 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Okay. And actually it doesn't look smaller. It probably did get smaller, but because the pattern I don't think got smaller. It still looks like he's moving very slowly. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna just do is change the speed on the script. And then it's just gonna be way better. Alright, speed. Right now it's at 5, so I'm just gonna change it to like 20 or so. Compile it, and let's see if that works. So it's compiling. So I have a little bit of candy here. I'm gonna go with a Snickers. I set up all this candy so that I could like keep working and not have to stop. I also have water. I also have some fruit I can probably eat. And some chips. Probably be a little bit healthier to eat fruit instead of candy, but... Alright, so it's compiled. And it's reloading here. And let's see if this moves faster. Okay. It does look better. But honestly, I think we want him to move much faster than that. So let's give him like 40 speed. And 40 is kind of just like a random, like arbitrary number. So it kind of really depends on his size, the size of the map. There we go. Now this is like way too fast. But I think maybe it just feels fast because the animation is a little too slow. There's a way to change the animation somewhere over here. Oh, actually, I think I have to select the animation clip. So running. Oh, no. So maybe this one, running. One of these files is it, man. There we go, running. Okay. So I think this number here determines how fast it runs. Trying to see if a little pop-up notification comes up. Doesn't seem to be happening. Right, so maybe actually I think this is the wrong. I think I used this model actually, so it should be here. Position error, scale error. So that's the start and end time. 30 frames per second. Materials, rate, scale factor. Okay. So I think it's really this number. Alright, let's play. Can we play? No. I don't know why we can't play. Alright, I guess we'll just have to see here. Alright, so bang. Okay, that's that speed. Let's change this to like, I don't know, 60. Oh, what the 60. And see what that does. Does it seem faster? I don't know. Am I doing this right? I don't know. Kind of seems faster, but it's not holding the value. Actually seems faster now. But I think this might be a read only. Alright, I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. Because I barely know what I'm doing, guys. I will 100% admit that. I barely know what I'm doing. But so far what I have working is pretty decent. And I think I can make something happen here. So let's go back to the scene. Let's see if we can mess around with this terrain a little bit. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing. But from what I know, you can change the size of the terrain. You can change the. I'm guessing you can change the color. You can add trees and stuff. We're just gonna mess around with it a little bit, just to add stuff to it and change it and see if we can get it to look good. Enable tree colliders. All right, so let me move my head out of the way. Huh? What is happening? Why can't I move my head? Huh? Alright, there's something wrong with OBS here. Alright, so I'll just erase my face. You don't need to see it. Alright, so here on the side we have all the properties about the terrain, the position, blah blah blah. And then there's like these terrain brushes. I'm sorry the little pop-up notification isn't coming up. You can paint the terrain, I guess. Alright, let's see what we can do here. How do you know what color it's being painted? Oh, you're painting it with a shape. Oh, wait, what the heck? Okay. I thought I was gonna do like... No, you're just painting. I thought I was gonna like move it up and down or something. But yeah, how do I pick the color then? I'm not trying to make like mud, like an entire muddy map. Okay. Paint texture. No, I'm not trying to make a new brush. Brush size. The brush is read only. New terrain data. Oh, here we go. So paints texture. That's just gonna paint the texture. It's not really painting a texture, but okay. Paint holes makes this brown stuff. Oh, set height. That's kind of what I want to mess with. All right, this brush is like way too big. So let's go with a smaller one. And I want to use like one of these. Ooh, water texture. All right, let's just use this one. Looks kind of random looking. So set height, height 0. That didn't seem to do anything. Space world, space local. Oh, my bad. Height is 0, so it's not gonna do anything. All right, so oh, that's pretty cool. Can you guys see that? Yeah, it looks like it shows you a preview of how high it's gonna go. Oh, what the? Kind of froze. Huh? I can't really see. That's kind of weird. I think I made the change, but I can't really see it. Oh, crap. Whoa. Oh, because this color is weird. Alright, so let's see if we could get rid of... Let's go back to paint holes, because I feel like... Raise or lower terrain, set height. Oh, my bad. I think that's actually... for the collision. Oops. So yeah, so that would be maybe. All right, I want that to be on 0 actually. Oh, I could only bring it back to 2 apparently. Oh, that's the brush size, my bad. Go back to height, set height. Brush size, whatever, height 0, okay. Let's set this back to 0, okay. So I think what's happening there is that that's actually, so it's gonna be what it physically looks like, and then it's gonna be the actual height. When your character moves on it, it's gonna be an actual height. So like, let's say I paint a block that's 2 meters up, and then I would need to change the hitbox so that it actually moves up, because otherwise you'd probably just walk right through it. Okay, so instead of set height, let's change it to raise or lower terrain. And I think it's automatically gonna do it. So let's go back to like a smaller brush. Oh Lord. Okay, again, I still have this hole here, so looks like that's kind of messing me up. Oh wow, that's way too strong. Maybe the opacity. Okay. So it looks like the hole is more of a... like, ignore the terrain here, basically. Or it's almost like a layer mask type of thing. So can I erase the hole? Hold shift and left click to erase it. Alright. It's not working. Oh, the opacity is still at 9. Okay, there you go. So I don't really know what the difference is between height and terrain. Move terrain up and down. So let's... Or maybe the height is you're giving it a specific height versus... Set height. Yeah, so you can set the height to 0. And then just... Okay, so then just undo it. Or set it to a specific height. So if I want the height of 1, I can make a straight up height 1 area. So it doesn't have to go any higher than that, you just make it height 1. Okay, so that makes sense. So in terms of holes, I don't want any holes. Cool, cool. And guys, yeah, we're just figuring this out. This isn't really meant to be a tutorial. This is just me messing around and kind of like hoping to inspire you guys to mess with this stuff as well. And of course, guys, if there's anything you guys want me to, any script that you guys want me to give you, I have no problem giving you the script, or at least like the basic, because I have like a lot of added stuff to the script, and I can give you the basic version of the script to get your character moving and animating and all that good stuff. Alright, so now that we kind of have this figured out a little bit more, let's raise and lower the terrain and lower the opacity, and let's try to get in here close to where Hikonian is so that we can see the effect like relative to his size, to his height, size, whatever. And let's make the brush really small. Okay. So we should be able to see the difference here. So right now though, he's not affected by gravity, so if we do play this, he'll just... Oh, he is actually affected. Oh, okay. So he's affected by gravity, but only up. Alright, so let's actually turn on gravity and see what happens. Because if that's the case, then this is actually working pretty well already. Okay, so it's actually working. He's a little bit floaty, it looks like. Oh no, he's actually working pretty well. So yeah, this is actually really good. Holy crap. This is really awesome. And there's actually a slope involved, so that's actually pretty cool. Guys, oh, and there you go. So I probably need to add like a safety to this underneath, because imagine my students playing this and they fall through the level, they're gonna be like, what the hell? But they would probably laugh so hard at that. Alright, so that's actually working pretty well. I like that. So let me raise or lower terrain here. And hold shift and click to lower. So I think as long as my terrain is not ridiculous, I shouldn't have to worry about falling through the terrain. And actually right now, I have him on a box collider. But what I could do is I could just change him to a capsule collider, because you can see a little bit there, his body is a little separated from the terrain. Yeah, like right there. He should be kind of like moving up and down a little bit, but since he's a box, he's not entirely touching the terrain. So let me see if I could, let me save right now. And let me see if I can, let me bring my face back for a little bit, so you guys can see my beautiful reactions here. Let me save right now. And, oh, let me save again actually, just to be sure. And let me turn off this collider. And actually we should be able to see the collider. Yeah, right here. And this collider is actually pretty small, so should in theory be a little bit higher than that. Like maybe right there. But let's, actually we could probably just disable this. And let's see what happens actually. Yeah, that happens. Alright, so let's give him a capsule collider. So that's disabled in case we need to bring it back. But let's give him a capsule collider. I think that's more of a standard collider that games use usually. So we can actually see the box collider still there. It's not a problem. And let's kind of see if we can mess with this collider a little bit more. So I want to center it a little higher up. And then I just want to make it bigger, height-wise. You can barely see this thing. Right, like right there. Center it a little lower, actually. Right there. And then make the radius a little bit bigger, like maybe there. Maybe the size of his body, not so much his head. Oops. Not as much his head, more so his body shape. And maybe the radius can be a little bit smaller, like maybe there. And then move it a little bit further back on the Z-axis. Because his center of gravity is a little further back, because his head is so big. Alright, so I think that could be a better collider. All I'm hoping is that the collider keeps him above the ground and doesn't let him fall through. Okay, so that's actually, I think the kids will see this and they will actually love this because this looks pretty amazing. Alright, so I want to actually color this to a different color because this checkerboard texture is a little ridiculous. Paint texture. And I guess what I really need to do is to make a new material. So let me create a material. I don't really know how to work with materials, but let's call this grass. I was thinking to paint it brown, but I think grass might be better, like a green color. I think I can change the color somewhere. The thing with the material is that you can give it different properties, like metallic. You can make it look metallic. Occlusion, I guess that's how much it can block you or something like that. I'm not really sure what a lot of these terms mean. But I know what metallic means, and I kind of can tell what smoothing means. So I think maybe here, this white box, again, it's behind my face. So sorry about that. This white box here, I'm just gonna make it green, like some kind of green color. Bam. And I would like it to be like textured-ish, but in terms of my actual skill level, in terms of painting a texture, I don't know if I can actually do that. So maybe we can do this for now, and then later on change the texture to a more grassy texture that we can create later. Now I'm not really sure how to add the material because it's not showing up here. And we actually have a bunch of materials here already, so I'm not really sure why it's not showing up when we click on here. Terrain, oh, that's terrain collider, my bad. Okay. Paint texture. Okay, settings. Is this the texture? Select material. I can't. what if I, no? For some reason, it's like highlighting the directory whenever I click on that. Can I drag it here? I'm not really sure how to do this. Might have to Google this actually. And yeah, guys, when it comes to making games and programming and stuff, 99% of the job is Googling, and like your actual skill level is based on how much stuff you've Googled so far in your lifetime. So, oh man, eating that Snickers actually made me more hungry. And I feel like I might need to take a bathroom break, so I might do that in a little bit. Alright, so Unity, terrain. I have my Google Chrome closed on my actual PC because I feel like that takes up a lot of memory for no reason. So I'm just gonna Google it from my phone. Unity, texture. Because it is looking pretty good in terms of how we can create these little hills and like terrain features. I do want to create like a river type thing. That would be cool. But if it's just going to be this checkerboard texture, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, I don't know why this happens, but every so often something will interact. Like maybe, you know, the character interacts with the terrain in a certain way, and it just gives momentum to like the rotation, and I don't know how to stop that. Actually, I think I do know how to stop that. We have to give him like just enough of a friction that it'll eventually just stop. So I think that's here, angular drag, or drag. So just make that 0.05 or something like that. And I'm blocking it again, so I'm just like up here where it says drag, just making that 0.05. And I think that should be it, angular drag. But now I don't really know how to trigger that to just happen. That's pretty funny. I think they might like that. Oh, there it goes again. Okay, so maybe that is angular drag. So I'm just gonna make it 0.1. Make this 0.1. Let's see if that makes any difference. And again, guys, that's something else that I Googled, I think, one day. So otherwise I would have no idea what's going on. And I'm not even sure if that's the actual problem. So yeah, there he goes, spinning out of control. He does seem to be slowing down-ish. See if I move him, does that stop it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't like that. So that's the reason why I turn off X and Y rotation, but maybe I could turn off Y rotation and it'll still work. Oh, actually, yeah, that does work. Okay. So maybe that'll stop it, actually. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the rigid body or the collider or something that, like, the way it just collides with something, it might just actually trigger, like, almost as if, let me turn the camera back on again. So it's almost as if, you know, you walk towards something and it hits you, and now all of a sudden, like, you ran into it so much that it just triggers like a rotation. And then like there's nothing stopping you from rotating because of the way the physics system works. It's not an actual physics system, it's just like a simulation of one. So something is not, there's nothing really there to stop your rotational velocity. Yes, and that does sound like a physics term, but that goes to show you that like there's things in physics class that actually apply to game making. There's things in math class. So guys, if you are wanting to be a programmer, definitely pay attention in those classes. It's not really necessary, but it does help you understand things. Like for example, we have X, Y, and Z. This is pretty much the same coordinate system that we have in math class and geometry. And actually that looks pretty cool from the side. So like understanding things like that might be helpful. And you might not think that it's helpful just to, oh, it's just the X and Y. But like if you have to figure out like how to jump, how to make a good looking jump, that's like a physics calculation. So you could probably make a formula for yourself to figure out a better jumping formula than just using the standard gravity, something like that, right? You might want to figure out the shortest distance between this point and this point, so you end up using Pythagoras theorem. You know, random little things like that. There's a lot of like calculus you can do, things like that. So it might not seem like that important to know your math, but it can be very helpful in certain situations, especially when you get to like a professional level and you're actually the one building these engines. I don't think they really, I think a lot of game companies don't really build their engines anymore because of Unreal Engine and Unity, but you never know if you might end up in a job like that. So I'm reading about the textures, enabling textures. The paintbrush on the toolbar enables the texture painting. Okay, so I think we got to that. Click on select to see your texture assets. All right, so let's go here, texture paint, select, click on select. It should be under albedo. Albedo, add terrain texture. Is it this? Create neighbor text terrains. Neighbor terrains. All terrain settings. Grass tint. Light mapping. Yeah, guys, I say that. Oh, here we go. Material. I say that I don't really know. There we go. I don't really know what a lot of this stuff means. I kind of have an idea what something like light mapping is, but actually doing it is a different story. All right, so there is a texture, but like I don't want it to be like a solid texture, right? No, I mean, it's fine for it to be a solid texture. I would just want to be able to paint certain areas to look like the mountain to be brown or stuff like that, or like a dirt area or like a water area. Right. So that might be a little bit more Googling, so, or maybe looking through this file here. This documentation. Terrain albedo, smoothness, terrain texture. Texture painting. You can add as many textures as you want. So I feel like I'm just not in the right place. Oh, depending on the material you set in texture settings, the color channels. Or maybe I should actually read this. Edit textures. Edit textures. Texture resolution. What is this? Paint details. The brushes read only. Edit details. Add grass texture. Healthy color, dry color. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. These is this sign. Assign a detail texture. Oh, I really don't know, guys. I would have to actually make a good texture. I don't know how that works. All right, so let's go back to here. Where I added the material. Oh no, that's not what I want. Dang it. So the material is just gonna be whatever I added. Default terrain. That has to actually make a... Ooh, that looks cool. I have to actually make my own texture. That looks cool. So let's go back to one of these. So the texture is what's causing that light effect to happen. Let me keep it here. Let me keep this one actually, because I think that's actually being affected by our actual light source. Let's keep that. And then let's see if we can change it from here. So edit, default particle. I don't really have anything that I can use. Yeah. How do I even add these textures? Billboard. I don't think I want it to billboard. Alright, what if I just come over here to the main part here and create texture, render texture, brush. Shader. Okay, this might be something I'll just have to figure out later. Material, render texture. I just want to have some way to be able to tell easily where specific textures are, because this map is pretty big. Alright, so... Oh, okay, so let me go back to Blender here. I'm gonna export my thingy. First of all, I have to open it. Let me open it. I think I just called it farm level, eco farm level. All right, let me show you guys my Blender here. Okay, so this is sort of a basic layout that I came up with. Maybe I should color this. All right, let me color it a little quickly here so that we could actually get some detail going. I need to set it to material preview. I think it's this. All right, so I'm just gonna color it. I think the easiest thing I could do is maybe start with the trees. So, oh, I love this song. Bam, bam. So I'm just highlighting all the trees, but I kind of know that they stick out from the bottom. They're a little bit easier to select from the bottom. And what I'm gonna do here is come to the side and create a new color, change it to brown, like a dark brown. Actually, maybe leave that one there. Create a second color. Let's call this default. And let's call this brown. And all I'm gonna do is make it like a log color, a log type color. Make this brown, like an orangey, a dark orangey color. And that should give us brown. Okay, and then I should be able to assign to whatever I have selected. Okay, and then let's just make it a green color. Oh, don't assign yet. I want it to hit new, then make a green color, a little dark on the dark side. There you go. Call it green. Green, sort of just highlight pretty much everything else. And then highlight these little bushes here. And this song is awesome. Alright, let's just start assigning. Alright, so there you go. Actually, maybe I'll change the ground to be like a lighter, like a yellowish green, more so. So that the trees and the bushes actually look different. So they actually contrast a little bit here. And you could actually make a distinction between them. And the beautiful thing too is that I can just change the color. If I want to make it darker, I can just change it on the side here. And it'll just automatically apply. I don't really want to change that. That's supposed to be a rock. But I'll change it again. I'll change it back. Sign. Alright, did we get everything? Here's another one. Can't really see this one here. Okay, there's a spot. And then this one. Alright, and I missed a spot over here. Assign. Alright, let me keep saving this. Make sure I keep saving this. And then I'll make a new color for a lighter green. And there you go. That's going to be the grass color. And what I'll do is I'll highlight the ground here. And I'll just assign that. Again, that's looking a little too light. Looks a little too light, so I'm just gonna come here, darken it up a little bit. There you go. I could just darken it on the right. And this, I kind of want it to be like a deeper green. It looks fine, but maybe a deeper green. There we go. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. This I want to make it back to default color. But actually, I can make a new color that's like a darker grayish black type thing. You can just leave that in the middle, like here somewhere. And call that rock. And then just assign it to these. And maybe the bridge too. Assign, bam. Oh, the bridge could probably be a different color actually. Just call this bridge. And of course I can't spell. So I want the bridge to be a little bit of a stony color more so than a rock color, I guess. And it's gonna be like a lighter gray. There you go. So if we change this back to object mode, the lighting here is kind of making... So this is supposed to be a river down here. The lighting is making it look a little... Which is fine, you can actually see where the ridges are. And then... I was gonna do one more thing. Oh, let me see if I can add... If I could keep it here... Oh no, it would have to be a texture for me to add like a little bit more. I don't know how to explain it. Shadow and cavities, I think is what I mean. Yeah. So this looks kind of cool, but we don't really need this shadow. Right, that looks pretty cool. But what you really want is to actually texture this so that it's actually colored. It looks really cool when it's colored. Actually, I might already have a texture, so let me just see if I could just reuse that texture. Go over here to shading. I have a texture that I could use. Add image texture. Connect this here. Oh, that's not an image texture. Texture, image texture. Open. Let me see. I know I have one somewhere. The thing is, I don't have that texture locally saved, so I might have to re-add it. Okay, palette. Okay. Alright, so I can go back to UV editing. Wait. Back to shading. UV editing. I forgot how to do this. Is it texture paint? No, UV editing. Okay. And how do I import this palette? Oh, here we go. Okay, so what I can do is also add to this palette because it doesn't have green, it doesn't have... Let's see... Texture paint? Oh, this is like a pixel. Oh my god. This is very tiny, so... These are like a pixel each. So... I might have to... Okay, so it's kind of smart enough to sort of just use the middle of it there. Sort of. Brown, gray, dark gray. We have a grayish weird color here. Only other thing I would want is a blue. Fill. Oh, maybe I could just use fill instead of the brush. Nope. Alright. Never mind. Alright, we're just gonna use that blue there. Alright, so we save this image. Back to texture editor. Basically do the same thing. So this, I'm gonna take it over here. scale it down to 0, and then move it to here. Take the rocks, 1, 2, 3, scale it down to 0, move it to here, take the bridge, scale it down to 0, move it here, maybe this one, and then take all the wood parts once again. Okay, so these are all the trees. Take those, scale it to 0. Not the best brown there, but let's just do this to see what it looks like, and then we'll decide after that. Let's go back to selecting all of these again. And I'm using the L key to select like this. Nope, not that one. Okay, I think that should be most of them. Alright, scale to 0, move to this dark green patch. Okay, I think that's everything. Alright, let's go back to our layout here, and then we should be able to go to... That should be it, actually. Texture. Alright, let's go back to shading. Oh, it's on slot 6. What the heck? Defaults. Oh, okay. Let me add the texture back here. I think this will work. Doesn't seem to be working. What did I just do? Render results. Palette. What am I missing here? Oh, I see. It's on default. Right? Material? No, that's not why. I'm missing something. But what am I missing? I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I do not know what I'm doing. It should be saved. It looks like the bridge is actually correctly textured. But it should apply to everything because they're all the same object. It's not showing up here for some reason. Oh, do I need to do that for every single one? Oh, I think that's what I gotta do. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Default grass. Yeah, I could just copy and paste it. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. All it's gonna do is really give a little bit more of that effect. That cool shaded looking effect. Yeah, it looks like I missed some okay, so yeah, it's looking a little too bright. There we go, that's what I was looking for. It's looking a little too bright on that little preview, but it looks pretty good here. Oh, this is where it looks too bright, but here it looks pretty cool. It's a little too pixelated there, but I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know if I'm a big fan of these lines. They look a little too strong. No, the shading looks good. Just those lines, I don't know how to get rid of those. Cavity. I don't know, does this look better? This looks pretty cool. Alright, so there's a little bit of what the culling means. It's kind of just cropping off the side that you're not really supposed to see. Which can be good in terms of game performance. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go for like another half hour. From this point. I think I said I was gonna go for 3, but I think I meant that I used up one of my hours just setting this whole thing up as well, doing laundry too. So sadly I used more time than I wanted to. Yeah, I don't know, those lines don't look that great. I think if, like, maybe if it was like a mountainous texture, it would look good, but I don't think it looks that great, to be honest. I don't want the X-ray effect. Oh, like, the shadow makes it look pretty cool. Cavity. World screen. Oh, so if I give it a world cavity, oh, that looks pretty cool, actually. Not really. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. I think the shadowing is what makes it look better than not having the shadow. So that gives the texture a little bit more depth without me having to actually design a texture. Let me go back to UV editing. Object mode, I guess? I don't really know. No, edit mode has to be. Where is the thing? Can I just move this menu or no? That's annoying. Alright. I'm gonna have to select from over here, I guess. Because these are supposed to be bushes, not rocks. I'm just trying to think of how a Japanese kid would pronounce bush. They would say bush. I don't know why I just randomly thought of that. 0 scale. And then just move it to here. Alright, there you go. That should look a little bit better. Just this one too, apparently. Wait, oh my lord. Alright, it's fine. I'll figure this out. They're just different colors. I'll figure it out right now, actually. Let's go back to UV editing. There we go. G over here. Alright, so if I highlight everything. Oh, what's this? Alright, let's see what the heck this is. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna put it on red, and then that way I should be able to tell what it is like that. I guess not. Maybe move it to orange. Move it to blue. Nothing else is blue. Oh, it's over here. Okay. So that should be in green. Why are certain ones more green than the other ones? So these, let's group them together. Oh, maybe this is actually green. Is it? I don't know. Oh, okay. I guess they were in a different part of the green? I don't... What the heck? Okay. Anyway, it looks good now. I did all that for nothing, to be honest, because I don't think I'm really gonna use this. But hey, at least we get to play around with it a little bit. Actually, it does look like it pops out a little bit more. All right, let me try to export this. Let me save and export this. So yeah, guys, I didn't... Oh my god, I focused way too much on this stupid thing. I wanted to try to make some objects for the game. But I guess I'll have to wait till next time. All right, let's try to do this quickly. Farm.fbx. And let me also export it to the... So what I wanted to do is start making some of the vegetables, like carrot, mushroom or something. Potato, a tomato, and then also some of the animals. And I'm just gonna make them kind of simple looking. Alright, so... Alright, I think I'll go another half hour, but let me take a little bit of a break. Okay, I'm back from the break. I just had to use the bathroom and I got this persimmon here. Now, I think last time I tried to eat like a full persimmon, like the skin, I was kind of like allergic to the skin or something. So I've been cutting them, but I read online that you're supposed to eat the skin. So maybe this specific persimmon, this type of persimmon won't give me that allergy feeling. And I got these from my job because they have a tree, so I just decided to, well, they just gave me a bunch. I didn't decide anything. Okay, okay. It's definitely good. Like, I find these annoying to have to peel, so I just didn't want to do that. Yeah, it feels like it's not kind of like burning me or doing any kind of acidy taste. So I'll just eat it like this, like an apple. All right. I'm just trying to export this file to the project, to the Unity project, so that we can bring it into the game and just see how it looks in game. Where did I save it? Sorry about coughing into the mic there. Damn, I have it saved on my computer locally. I thought I had it saved on my Dropbox. Let's see if this works. I don't know what the best way to make a level is, because I haven't really aside from making like squares and stuff, I haven't really made levels. So we're gonna kind of figure that out. Okay, back to the game. And I just imported it to here. So let's see. See if we can drag it into here. Anything happen? So yeah, it looks like it's there without the texture. And it's really small too. We could fix the smallness. The scale is already 100. What the heck? Maybe I just made it way too small in Blender. But you can see that it came over without the texture. So I might need to bring that palette texture back. And it's weird because Iconian, the main character, I didn't really texture him, so I don't really know. Actually, what I should do is, instead of bringing it here, I should just create a new level. So let me make this a prefab. And let me make a new scene here. Okay, farm level, whatever, farm level. Okay. So let's open that. Let's bring it in this thing. Place it on 0, 0. Okay. And let's bring Hikonian back in. Hold on. Let me zoom in or increase the scale. Zoom in. And let's bring Hikonian in. Position 0, 0, 0. Okay. Oh no. I think the... Oh, and I need the pivot here. Oh no, it's not working. Looks like the backs of the trees are inverted, so the back face culling is applying as soon as we are in Unity. I gotta tag him as player. This thing has a lot of seeds. Alright. It's still not working. Layer rip is here. Shouldn't it be on 0, 0, 0? Oh, he's not on 0, 0, 0. What is this camera? What? What is going on? Oh, there's two cameras. I'm an idiot. Okay, there you go. Alright, so the level's kind of backwards. So the level doesn't have any collision detection. Kind of backwards, the texture is not working right. Plenty of issues here. Plenty of issues. So let's rotate this 180 degrees. Okay, so apparently it's gone now. Oh, whoops, that was position, not rotation. 180 degree. Okay, the back face culling is messed up then. Just in general. Alright. See if we can bring in the texture, if that'll do anything. It's nice to have big, strong human teeth that can tear through fruit. Okay, blend. Palettes. .png. Oh, I probably just have to drag it onto the object. Okay, that didn't work. Alright, so I think probably the way to go is to use the texture. Sorry. Not to use the texture, to use the terrain. Alright, let me try something actually. It shouldn't take that long. If I go back to my blender here, I should just have to, all I should have to do is say normalize. I don't know where to do that though. Objects. Something normals. Fix normals. Normalize normals? I don't know. Modify faces. Mesh. Maybe it's under mesh. Symmetrize. Merge. It can be a pain in the butt to deal with 3D object, guys. In terms of 3D objects versus 2D, not really that much more complicated, but it's just a matter of dealing with the whole physics system and the culling apparently and the lighting and all this stuff. When it's a 2D model, a 2D thing, you can just draw whatever color you like and that's what it is. When you're doing 3D, there's all sorts of crazy stuff involved. That's kind of why you see a lot of cell shading for indie games, because it's a lot easier to just cell shade everything and not worry about anything else. Cell shading or flat shading. I don't know where this thing is. I think it's normalized faces. Alright, let me finish this stupid persimmon here. Sorry. Let me focus back on here. Alright, so I think my goal for between now and the next time I can sit down and do this is to watch a little tutorial on the texture stuff. So I can get the texture, like different colors on the texture, you know, make like little mountains and stuff. And then I might start, like restart with a new texture. Not texture, terrain. Make little like mountains and stuff, restart with a new terrain. And then I just got a text. And then sort of try to build the world, the level out like that. Because I think with the terrain, like all the collision detection and stuff is built in already. So it saves me some trouble. Then all I would have to do is make like a box around it so that my students don't just like walk off the edge of the cliff. Alright, so it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to find this. Maybe I can. This should be a quick Google actually. Normalize faces. Normalize faces. Blender. Because what happens is sometimes when you just make a shape, there's no way to tell if it's facing in or facing out. And you have to kind of specify that sometimes. Fixing normals. Normalize normals. See, people call it different things. Normals. Recalculate normals. That's what I'm talking about. That's the one I was looking for. Alright, I don't need you to explain it. Just tell me how to do it. It's weird though because I just used a bunch of default shapes to make this whole terrain. So I'm not really sure why any of them are inverted. I literally use cylinder to make the trees. I don't understand why they're messed up. Overlays? I don't see overlays here. Oh, options right here. Overlays. I don't see overlays. Dating. Right. You know what? I'm gonna just watch the YouTube video. I hate having to refer to YouTube videos because I have to watch the whole video, but this article is just not helping me right now. Mesh. Transform, flip, mesh. What's it transform? I can't even see this video. Transform. No. Normals. Flip, recalculate outside, recalculate inside, recalculate outside. Ah, okay, so maybe that works on its own. So let's try exporting back to the same spot. FBX. assets, models. Farm level data. Okay, export, and then re-import or refresh or whatever. Refresh. Okay, it looks like something did happen. Oh, it looks like it does. It did work. Okay. Yes. Okay. So there's no collision detection on this, so he's just gonna run as if it's just a flat thing. So actually, this is actually how I would want it to look. Maybe move the camera up a little bit more. I want it to be able to run this way and then cross the bridge. So let's pretend we're actually crossing the bridge. And then, okay, that looks fine. So then the camera, I just want to, whoops, what did I just do? Camera, I just would want to move it up more so that the player can see like the whole map, like most of the map. Maybe angle it down a little bit, like that. So I don't know, you would start over here. There's gonna be like the pot over here. You read the sign. Oh, you need a tomato. Run over here. Cross the bridge. There's gonna be a farm here. Gonna randomly spawn like different vegetables. I want to make it so that there's different farms, and then like maybe one farm has a better spawn rate for like tomatoes. One farm has a better spawn rate for corn and things like that. So that's my idea. So I'm gonna use my last 10 minutes or 10, 15, 20 minutes here. And I'm gonna just model out try to do a couple of vegetables. Maybe I'll do an egg. An egg should be easy, right? All right, so so this is going okay. Did that not save? What happened? Yo, what is going on? My Unity froze somehow on the save. Yeah, I'm not really sure how that works. So my Unity's stuck now? Is that what's happening? Oh no, it's good. I messed up this height, my bad. Oh no, it's good, it's good. Alright, so save. I say play mode. Oh, that's why. Okay, so saved. I'm gonna leave this alone for right now. Go back to Blender. So this should be saved. Let's save it again. That's whatever. I don't really care that much. We're gonna try to use the the terrain. So right now, I'm just gonna kind of quickly. I thought I already saved this. Quickly bang out like a couple of 3D models here. So I usually just take the cube, and what I do is I create a modifier, a subsurface modifier, subdivision surface, or subsurface for short. Go to edit mode, and edit mode allows you to kind of play with so this is what it looks like without the modifier, and then this is what with the modifier. So you can modify the model, and then the modifier will modify your modified version of the model. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'll show you. So first of all, let's move this up so it's on the line here, on this plane, because that usually gives me issues. All right, so you can see now it's kind of like a circle. Actually, if I give it more of a detailed, you can see I can just make it rounder and rounder, but of course that costs more processing power. So I usually just keep it like maybe here. So we're basically working with a square here, and the blender modifier is turning it into a circle just by giving it more detail, more edges. But what you can do here is you can add more stuff here. So for example, you can do this. So right now it's a perfect circle, but I want it to be sort of like an egg shape. So I could kind of do that. And then I can keep playing with it until it becomes a little bit more square, oval like, right? So I probably already messed this up. That's not really what I wanted to do. So maybe I need to just bring this to the middle. Right, and then, so that's somewhat in the middle. I don't know exactly if it's exactly in the middle, but what I can do is scale this down, make it a little pointier. That way it's a little more egg-shaped. And then this one, probably fine actually. Maybe in total it's yeah, like this. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. It's a little too, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe if I make the middle a little, scale the middle a little bit down, maybe it'll look a little bit better. Not really. I think the bottom is the issue. It's looking a little too flat. Yeah, there we go. Okay, bam. Egg modeled in 3D. There you go. Okay. I am an expert here, apparently. Oops, what did I just do? Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, so I am an egg making expert here. And yeah, we don't really have to add any color or texture to an egg because eggs are white. It looks a little gray here, but it's going to be white. And the one other trick that you want to do is go back to object mode, so it looks, it looks like it's squared off, but what you want to do is shade smooth. Booyah. And we have ourselves a beautiful egg here. Okay, so let's export this, and then we can bring it into the game. So let's work on a couple of vegetables here. I'm gonna do a carrot, I guess, and then maybe a tomato. So egg, and then I think I probably need to make like tofu and stuff like that because they love tofu. They love throwing tofu everywhere. All right, so egg, put that into my assets folder, into the models folder. Okay, so egg done. New, render, save. You know what? The FBX is fine. So that's a beautiful egg that we got there. Okay, let's start a new one. Don't save. Get rid of the camera and the light because that Unity doesn't like that. And again, we're gonna go back to the little wrench here, subdivision surface. And now we wanna make this, set this to 2 here. And let's go into, select this and go into edit mode. And now we wanna make a carrot. I feel like a carrot is something that I heard them talk about carrots a lot, so let's make a carrot. All right, so it's basically gonna be the same thing, to be honest. A carrot is just gonna be an inverted egg, and it's gonna be much skinnier. So select, scale it this way, but then scale it in the Z direction. Oh, sorry. Here, up to here. Right, okay. And then, yeah, basically the same thing. Just do this. Highlight this. Make this, like, scale this down, make it pointier. I don't know, guys. That looks like a carrot to me. Let's go back into object mode, smooth. And it's not going to be super detailed in terms of like texture, making it look like nice and bumpy. It's just going to be this. And And then let's try to add like the leafy part at the top, I guess. What can we use for that? I think we could probably use a plane. Now let's use a cube. Let's add another cube. We're gonna keep the subdivision surface. What we're gonna do is flatten it. Flatten it. Yeah, and then we're gonna make another cut here. This way. And leave that there. And then we're gonna take this and this. We're gonna scale it down on the Y direction. And we're gonna take this part here. Scale it down. Now we have kind of a pointy leaf looking thingy. Maybe. Alright, I think that's good actually. Make this about this size. Oops. Bring it up here. And you kind of get what I'm doing here, guys, right? So, GX. There's probably a good way to like duplicate this. Actually, I could probably make it a little thinner. SY, like maybe here. It's probably a good way to like duplicate this into 4. I don't really know how to do that, so I'm just gonna do it 4 times. Duplicate it 4 times. And we will have our carrot. Maybe make this a little bit shorter. Scale on the X. Because it's gonna look a little unnatural if we don't apply gravity to it. And I don't really want to apply gravity to it because I feel it's gonna make the game run slower, so just gonna do that. And I'm gonna duplicate this. Shift D. Okay, good. And then rotate on the Z axis by 90 degrees. And then move it into place. Bam. Alright, duplicate it again. Shift D. Okay, rotate 90 degrees on the Z. And move it on the X. Move it on the Y. Okay, Shift D one more time. Good. Not good. Right there. Okay, rotate it on the Z once again, 90 degrees. And it didn't duplicate. Hold on. It didn't duplicate. Alright, so undo that. Shift, duplicate, rotate Z, 90 degrees. Move along the X. Move along the Y. And we have ourselves a carrot. And actually what we can do a little bit of is maybe take these points here, these vertices, and move it down. And actually I exported the FBX, but I think I need to actually apply the filter before I can export it. So that way, because right now it's still a box technically, but once I apply the filter, then it'll turn into that shape. So what I'm going to do is just GX, and then maybe G, scale it down maybe. Oh, I missed a points. I missed a couple of points. GX, oh, GZ, and then scale it down. There you go. Actually, that looks a little. Move it a little. Oh, I think there maybe. It's a little bit more carroty. So I want to save this one as a carrot, but I also want to use the same one and maybe make it into a daikon, because that's another one that they kind of love using, is the daikon. And actually, this is not centered very well. Oh, and it's actually within the box. Let's Let's keep it solid, but let's Alt Z. And we can now highlight this one and this one. And shift them a little bit to the Y. Okay. Good enough. Alright, so save this. I'm just gonna save this actual file as a blend file. Let's call it a carrot. And then let's also save it as a daikon. Alright, so let's revert to the carrot one. Carrot.blend. It's not perfect. I can already see the imperfection, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Alright, and then in terms of color, let's set this to orange. I don't know if these colors are actually gonna apply when we bring it into Unity, but for right now we could at least see it here. Assign material preview. Okay, and then material 2. It's just gonna be green. Whatever, a darker color of green, maybe there. And then we'll highlight this. Highlight the leaves. And apply the green. Bam, we have a carrot. Pretty good looking carrot, I must say for myself. Alright, shade smooth, that way it's smooth. And now we save. We reopen the file for the daikon version. And then we do the same thing. We highlight this. We don't actually, probably don't have to highlight that. We change this first material to white. Just make it material preview mode. Okay, and then we highlight the leaves. Damn, I missed Skyward Sword. That game was so good. This doesn't really look all that well aligned, but that's okay. We'll just leave it alone. Create another material here. Make it green. Right there. We'll apply it. Okay. Then the only thing with the daikon, I think it's a little bit more round at the bottom, like the pointy part. So if I don't make that adjustment, the kids will definitely realize it, or they will definitely notice it. So I think they're also bigger. So maybe just scale it up to be bigger and fatter. And then bam, we have our daikon. So save that as save that as daikon, and then I can export that FBX as a daikon. Damn, I love this song. And I love how you can talk to the blacksmith and the different people there, and the song changes. Okay, so this should be in documents. Alright, I'm just trying to make sure I export them all to the right place. So that's going to be the daikon, and then open carrot. Don't save, it's already saved. Export the carrots to the right spot. Assets, model, and then I'm probably just gonna make the carrot and everything pretty, like, really big. They're gonna appear really big on the map, so they're gonna be bigger than our character. And it's a game, so it's fine that it's like huge. Alright, so let's probably bring them into here and see how they look. The egg might not look that great. Actually, I didn't apply the filter, but it looks like it worked. So, alright, so I'm probably just gonna angle it. There's the daikon, and there's the egg. They're probably gonna be about his same size. So if we take the scale of Y of Z, so maybe to there, to that point. So about scaling it to 40 or so. Okay. Oh, no. Maybe even 30, I don't know. 30%. Yeah, alright, so that looks pretty good. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for these guys. And I just want them to be very visible on the map. And I still have a lot to do after this. So next time we kind of work on this. There's still plenty to do for this game, but we already have our sample vegetables here. So since the carrot and daikon were pretty much the same vegetable, I think they were easy to make together. So what I can further do, let's save this. I'm just going to end up rotating this like 45 degrees, not in that direction. 45 degrees like that. No, not that direction either. This is the X direction. Oh, negative 45 apparently. I think it's because Blender and Unity, for whatever reason, they have a different axes system. So it's like really annoying. Negative 60 I'm trying to do. Yeah, so like that. And then I'm just gonna have it like rotate in game. So this is kind of just how it's gonna do. Just rotate in the game, constantly rotating so that you can see them. And then when you're gonna be able to walk into them. So right now you walk into them and nothing happens, but you're gonna be able to walk into them and it's gonna just appear over your head, and then you bring it back to the pot. And then once you touch the pot, it's gonna like jump into the pot, and it's gonna start making the soup. So that's gonna be the whole idea of the game. So, like for example, like we have this terrain here. Whatever, you'd have to like cross the river. Alright, so there's gonna be a river, right? So hold shift to lower the terrain. Oh. So let's say starting from here. Gives a little bit more strength. It doesn't. Oh, you can't lower it below 0. Oh man, what the heck? I have to raise the whole terrain then. Is what they're telling me. Alright, I guess that's what I have to do. So huge brush here. Here, actually I'll go to terrain, set height, and then I'll set the height to like, I don't know, 5. Then I'll make a huge brush. Okay, that not exactly what I wanted to do, but okay, maybe set the height to like 2. To 2. Okay, maybe 1 then. Let's leave it at 2, I guess. And then actually we could just move this down by a little bit. Oh, what the heck? Position. Okay, that makes sense. Y. I forgot it's Y in Unity. Maybe -1? I don't know. -2. Okay, so I moved it up to, I gave it a height of 2, and then I moved it down to, okay. Oh, shit. What did I just do? I gave it a height of 27.5. Crap. Alright, 2. Okay, so that makes a little more sense. Okay, so now I actually flattened the little lumps that I had, but that's fine. Let's go back to set the brush to here, to like a normal size. Can't even see what I'm doing. I can't see myself. Okay. Get this here. my god, this is so hard to see. And the music is making this sound like way more dramatic than it actually is. Okay. Okay. Kind of annoying. Sorry about that. Alright, let's make the brush smaller. Really small. Give it maybe like a 3? A 4? Alright, good. Alright, so now what I want to do is actually move this over here. Give this height. Raise or lower terrain, so shift. What am I doing here? Shift and click. Okay, so now I can just make like a river way over there, whatever. Alright, so that's the river. You're gonna cross the river. There's gonna be like a little... Wow, okay, relax. There's gonna be like a little whatever here. You know what, I think I really need to use the height brush. It just makes a little bit more sense. Give it a height of 3. Come back down over here. And make a little area here. Alright. And then let's move the daikon. It's already, oh my god, it's angled. I need to make like a surrounding box around this thing because it's gonna be annoying to move with the whole angle. And there you go. And actually I could just make that surrounding box. Create empty daikon. And then move daikon into that. And then I can highlight the outer box. I don't know why it's down there. Oh, they're really annoying me right now. Alright. Move that here, down. Close enough. Ish. Not really, but a little bit this way. Alright, so now I can move it like really, maybe not. Alright, but you get the idea. I can move it freely now in regular directions. Okay, so the game would work like this. You'd start like way over here somewhere on the other side of the river. Oh, and the river is actually way too steep. So yeah, you'd probably need the bridge, or yeah, I could design like areas where you can get out of the river easily. You'd cross the river, and then you'd end up on this side, and then it's like, oh, there's the carrots spawning, there's the daikon spawning, let me go grab it, then I bring it back to the pot. This map is like way too huge right now. I'll figure that out. Okay. Oh my god, I just realized it's been on Blender this whole time. Sorry about that, guys. And here's what it would look like. So let me do that again. You run over here, you know, like, oh, there's the carrot. You run up to the carrot. You can go up this hill, bam, carrot. And you would come back. You'd have to like cross the river as soon as I make the map smaller. Because now this is like... Alright, I'm gonna make the map smaller and I'll figure all that stuff out later. What? All in all, I think this is looking pretty good so far. We have something going here. and I feel pretty good about having a demo for next week. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a couple of vegetables like these that I already have. I'm gonna make it so that when you touch it, it just hovers over you, and then you can bring it back to the pot. And when you touch the pot, it'll just like jump into the pot, and then it'll somehow keep track, like, oh, you brought a carrot, so now one of the ingredients is done. And yeah. That's gonna be the game. Okay, I definitely need to make this level way smaller, but this works so far. Just love, I just really like seeing it move around and sort of actually be a little bit of a game so far. All right, let me end it there. 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's pretty good.